It was the deadliest conflict in human history, a war that spanned every continent, that toppled empires and redrew the map of the world. It began with the rise of dictators and ended with the dawn of the atomic age. This is the story of World War II, the war that shaped our modern world. The roots of the conflict lay in the ashes of the First World War. The Treaty of Versailles, meant to secure peace, left Germany humiliated and weakened. Economic collapse, mass unemployment, and political chaos created fertile ground for extremism. Into this turmoil stepped Adolf Hitler, a man who promised to restore pride and power to a broken nation. In Italy, Benito Mussolini rallied crowds with visions of a new Roman Empire. In Japan, military leaders dreamed of dominating Asia. Across the globe, the storm was gathering. On September 1st, 1939, Hitler's armies invaded Poland. 2 days later, Britain and France declared war on Germany. World War II had begun. Blitzkrieg. The Lightning War swept across Europe. Denmark, Norway, Belgium, the Netherlands, and France fell with shocking speed. By 1940, Nazi Germany dominated the continent. Only Britain stood defiant. In the skies above London, the Battle of Britain raged. For the first time, Hitler was stopped. But the war was not confined to Europe. In Asia, Japan expanded aggressively, seizing territory across China and Southeast Asia. On December 7, 1941, Japanese planes attacked Pearl Harbor. The United States was drawn into the war. Now the conflict was truly global. From the deserts of North Africa to the jungles of the Pacific, from the frozen steppes of Russia to the Atlantic Ocean. In June 1941, Hitler launched Operation Barbarossa, the largest invasion in history. Millions of German troops poured into the Soviet Union. At first, the Wehrmacht advanced quickly, but the vastness of Russia, the brutal winter, and fierce Soviet resistance turned the tide. Battles like Stalingrad and Kursk would become turning points, symbols of unimaginable suffering, but also of resilience. Meanwhile, across occupied Europe, resistance movements rose. Ordinary men and women risked everything to sabotage railways, pass intelligence, and shelter them. Yet the shadow of Nazi terror grew darker. 6 million Jews were murdered in the Holocaust, along with millions of others. Roma, disabled people, prisoners of war, political The war was not only a battle for territory, but for humanity itself. By 1943, the tide was turning. The Allies pushed German forces out of North Africa, then invaded Italy. On June 6, 1944, D-Day Allied forces landed on the beaches of Normandy. The liberation of Western Europe had begun. In the east, the Soviet Red Army advanced relentlessly. Germany was being squeezed from both sides. In the Pacific, the United States adopted a strategy of island hopping, capturing key positions, inch by inch, towards Japan. Battles like Midway, Iwo Jima, and Okinawa were fought with ferocity. Each step brought the war closer to Japan's shores. In April 1945, as Soviet troops closed in on Berlin, Adolf Hitler took his own life. Germany surrendered unconditionally in May. The war in Europe was over, but in Asia, the fighting continued. To avoid a costly invasion, the United States dropped atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The devastation was unprecedented. On August 15, 1945, Japan surrendered. World War II had ended. The cost was staggering. More than 60 million dead. Cities reduced to rubble. Millions displaced. Empires dissolved. But from the ruins, a new world order emerged. The United Nations was created, meant to secure peace and cooperation. The United States and the Soviet Union rose as superpowers, locked in a Cold War that would define the next half-century. Borders shifted, nations rebuilt, and humanity confronted the lessons of its darkest hour. World War II was more than a clash of armies. It was a battle of ideas, a test of endurance, a struggle for survival. It showed the depths of cruelty, but also the heights of courage. From the ashes of destruction came a new world, shaped forever by the war to end all wars. A war that continues to define us to this day.